the late founder of Crystal Asafo, Apostle GHOne Safo. Acknowledging the astute inventor who for some time lived in the constituency and fathered the immediate past MP for the area, Sarah Acquah Safo, Elik Plim Akrugu sent condolences on behalf of constituents, praising Apostle Safo. Known for his groundbreaking innovations in automobile manufacturing and industrial technology, Apostle GHOne Safo Kantanka carved a niche as one of Ghana's most celebrated inventors. For more than 4 decades, he championed the development of locally assembled vehicles and spearheaded Kantanka Automobile, positioning Ghana as a hub for African-made technology. Beyond technology, the founder of the Crystal Asafo mission was deeply invested in agriculture, education and philanthropy, providing skills training, jobs and support for countless families. His vision was not only to build cars and machines, but also to inspire confidence in the ingenuity of the Ghanaian people. The late distinguished technologist and industrialist, affectionately hailed as the Star of Africa, passed away on September 14, 2025 at age 77, as announced by family. News of his death has prompted widespread public reaction, with many figures from religious, political and business circles offering condolences and sharing reflections on his life and work. Statements have described him as a pioneering figure who played a unique role in blending faith, innovation and national development. Further details regarding funeral arrangements and memorial services are expected to be announced by his family in the coming days. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, 9 months after taking office on a bold promise to reset Ghana, the country's illegal mining crisis is still in full force. Forests are under siege, rivers are still running black, and entire communities are at risk. President John Dramani Mahama, however, insists that Ghana has not reached the point of declaring a state of emergency in the fight against illegal mining. With the destruction worsening, many wonder if the fight against illegal mining will ever be won. Tutu Adanso has more.
Newly must be for people who love this country and who understand
the state of emergency.
Yes, we have to declare a state of emergency and go back to the drawing table. We know what the problem is.
That was Emmanuel Amma, who eventually became our Lands and Natural Resources Minister, speaking ahead of the 2024 general election. At the time, illegal mining had left scars Ghana had never really seen before. River bodies were poisoned, forest reserves were destroyed, and humans felt the horror of the menace. Several mining communities recorded cases of children born with deformities and, in some cases, childhood cancers. The ruling party as of then, the New Patriotic Party, put in structures to handle the situation, but the opposition NDC had other plans, and President John Dramani Mahama, who was then the flag bearer of the opposition NDC, promised all of us a reset.
I can relate to the recent cynicism and massive mistrust you have in our body politics because the current government has been undeserving of your trust. The challenges of today might seem insurmountable, but I urge you to look beyond the present and dream with me of a reset Ghana, the Ghana we all want.
Months of campaign with calls by the NDC for a declaration of a state of emergency. Power moves to their side. 8 months down the line, President Mahama has his first meet the press encounter, and my colleague Joshua Kojo-Mensah asks him this.
I'm glad to hear that you personally are telling us that indeed steps are being taken to repeal LI 2462. But then I want to find out from you, the pro-environmentalist groups and then civil society, they want this declaration of a state of emergency. Where's the difficulty in declaring that state of emergency? Thank you.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have.
The government has indeed rolled out several interventions. The Blue Water Guards to protect rivers, National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariats or NIMOS to coordinate enforcement, and police deployment under the IGP. But the IGP's men were later withdrawn, citing operational overlaps.
We called off the IGP's anti-galamsey task force because they are supposed to coordinate with NIMOS, that is the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. Unfortunately, they were not doing that.
Months on, many activists say the fight against illegal mining is failing. The matter has escalated to fighting irresponsible mining, an umbrella covering even licensed miners who are not conforming to best practices.
Up to ask for a state of emergency to be declared. What has changed? If anything, things have gone from bad to worse.
When it comes to the issues of galamsey and in addressing the matter, what we heard from him were all excuses. The way the galamsey issues has been addressed on the ground, the issue is escalating significantly.
So what exactly is the state of emergency? Under Article 31 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution, it can be declared when lives, public safety or essential services are under threat. It gives the president powers to deploy security forces, restrict movement and shut down harmful activities. These are steps many believe could finally curb the illegal mining menace. Just weeks ago, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amma, confirmed that armed miners had re-entered the Jimira Forest Reserve and offensive shelter belt, areas that were recently recaptured by the state, and President Mahama himself confirmed this during his meet the press encounter.
Over the weekend, the Jimira Forest Reserve and the Anria Futu section of the offensive shelter belt was re-invaded by illegal miners after these were handed back to the Forestry Commission. The military is currently working with NIMOS to repossess those reserves and establish a permanent presence in those liberated forest reserves to prevent re-incursion by illegal miners.
Activities of illegal mining keep intensifying. At least in recent times, we know what's been happening in the Manso area of the Ashanti region and Acquah in the western region. Clashes reported between the military and townfolk. Need I ask, how much longer can the Ghanaian people wait for this ecological destruction to be completely eliminated? Well, this is Tutu Adanso reporting for GHOne Television and Star FM.
Now moving on, former Vice President and New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer hopeful, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has tendered an apology to party members for the mistakes made during the NPP's tenure in government. Speaking on a campaign tour in the Ashanti region, he expressed his commitment to learning from past errors and promised to do better in the future. Dr. Bawumia offered the apology as he solicited votes for the NPP flag-bearer contest scheduled for January 2026.
Yetu abaye ye research ewie ye nimse aban ene ye party ye mfomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi so wo ho a ye a anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ye ka ho bi. Vice President, ministers, MPs, board chairman, appointees, yenyina yayem from so pacho momfanche and why momfanche yenyina yaya from so na yesua your lessons. Nyame adom ena mode franka ne hyemensa me be ye president embasabium ye belle ne ye lessons momfanche embasabium.
Well, that's what we have for the GH Today news. For more news updates, click on starfm.com.gh. My name is Nanama Acquah. Enjoy your Monday.